So what are dot diagrams? Dot diagrams have two purposes, which is to spot patterns in data distribution. So let's take a look. This is a dot diagram. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 1 dot, 2, 3 dots, and 1 dot. So what's the pattern here? The pattern is that it actually concentrates around number 2. Okay, so that's the pattern. Basically, we can, because it's visually, you can summarize it visually. That's why you can see the pattern easily. Okay, so usually we will see the pattern visually. Yeah. Okay, and then so what are the key features? Okay, the key features includes horizontal number line as the base. So we have a number line like that. Then we have a number line. Means what? It means there are numbers. Okay, on it. Okay, blah blah blah. Okay, then key and legend. Okay, this key and legend is very important. A lot of students often leave it out because they just forget to draw them or write them at the end. But remember, these keys and legends is very important for the examiner to know what symbols are using. Maybe you're using like different symbols, and the symbols may represent different things. So you must always okay, tell the examiner what the symbols, what the dots actually mean. Okay, and then use we have a label x-axis that doesn't always need to start from 0, so you can start from 1. Okay, so here's an example of a dot diagram. So you're supposed to draw a number line here, an arrow. Okay, but you do not have to put an X. You do not have to put that. That's for another chapter. Okay, so let's take a look. The scenario here is secondary 3 students from Singapore International School reporting the weekly bubble tea consumption. Okay, so there's the context. Okay, so number of cups are just 0 to 9. Okay, so we draw from 0 to 9 number line. Okay, we do not have to draw 10, 11, 12. If the context gives you 0 to 9, just draw 0 to 9. Okay, so over here, right, there's 8 cups, right? But there's 8 cups, but then there's zero number of students who bought 8 cups per week. So you do not exclude the 8 cups. You leave it in the number line. So you draw 0 to 9. Okay, continue from 0 to 9 without leaving out 8. So 8, you just don't put any dot above it. Okay, so for example, 5 cups, right? For 5 students for 0 cups, so means we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, remember that when you're drawing a dot diagram, you must always make sure that the distance between 0 and 1 or any numbers must be the same, and the distance between each dot, vertical distance between each dot, must be the same. Okay, and also the dots, we start counting from the bottom. Okay, so you start counting from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth. We don't start counting from the top. Okay, so this is very important when you're counting for median, mean, median, and mode. This is very important skill and not knowledge to know. So now let's analyze the dot diagrams. Okay, so this dot diagram is the same one as previous slide. Okay, the key observations here we can see is that the most popular is 1 to 2 cups per week. So we can see this our pattern. Okay, so we can generally see, sorry, this line here. Okay, most popular is 1 to 2 cups per week, which is around here. Okay, so this is our trend, our pattern. The next thing we know is that the health conscious 5 students consume 0 bubble tea weekly. And then moderate consumers, we have gradual decrease. So basically you're describing a trend, which is very important. So you must tell me that generally it concentrates around 0 to 2, then it starts to decrease quite steeply. Okay, from 3 to 7, then eventually fewer people drink more cups of bubble tea per week. Okay, and then heavy consumers, we can talk about it. So we talk about basically the general trend, the small, medium, and large heavy consumers. Okay, so this is distribution. This is basically what we need to write for our exams when they ask for the distribution. This and this. So these two very important statements. Okay. So here are the few things that you must take note in a dot diagram. Okay, a legend must always be provided, and x-axis must be provided. When you draw, you do not have to draw or write the x in the the axis. You do not have to write this. This is, you do have to just omit that. Okay, so always draw in pencil in exam, because you never know when you might make a mistake, so it's always easier to erase when you use a pencil. Only dots are allowed. You cannot use a circle, or you cannot use a cross. I mean, it's a dot diagram. It's called dot diagram for a reason. Okay, and dots are evenly spaced. Okay, and horizontally and vertically. Okay, just like this. So again, this is how it works. You do not have to start from 0. You can start from 3, you can start from anywhere. Okay, you can start from 1,000, but must always go in order. Okay, and then you never skip the number if there's no frequency in that number. Okay, in that data group. Okay, so what are the pros and cons of dot diagrams? First of all, you cannot display large data, and you can only show distribution. Okay, distribution, because you get to I'll explain later on. But you cannot display large data, because if you are going to display large data, like too many frequencies, right? How many dots are you going to draw in an exam? You can't possibly draw over 1,000 dots, right? The maximum you can go is probably 30 to 40 dots. Okay, you cannot draw above. Okay, let's make it criteria. You cannot draw above 50 dots, okay? So if there are 1,000 dots, you cannot draw them. So you have to use a bar chart or a histogram to display your data. Okay, so you only can display small data sets and again show distribution over a range of different groups. Okay, and then the cons is that it's very tedious to show large data set, because if there are so many, how many dots I can put? I mean, even 50 dots is very tedious to draw, right? To draw the dots equally spaced vertically and horizontally, so it's quite tedious, and especially in time constraint conditions during exam. Okay, and it's tedious to display data with large data range. Okay, if data range is too big, you have to draw the line too long. Okay, so what is data range? Data range is basically this: 10 to 50. If now it's 10 to 50, it's still okay. Okay, if it's 10 to 1,000, how are you gonna do it? Means you only can draw, maybe if it's 10 to 1,000, for example, it's gonna be 10, 1,000. Okay, this is, for example, 15, 20, maybe 50 here. Okay, then I draw the dots, dots here. Here nothing. Then suddenly 999 here, right? Suddenly got one dot. Then this empty space, what? Do what? Doesn't do anything, what? So you cannot have a very, very large data range. Data range meaning this number at the bottom. If the range is too large, you cannot do it. It's very tedious to draw. Okay, and it's very tedious to show large data, because why? Imagine I have 50 dots here, too many to draw. I cannot ensure equal spacing. It's very difficult to draw. Okay, so that's the cons of it. Okay, so yeah, so let's analyze this. Let's analyze. Okay, so the clear outlier here is obviously our this. Okay, no, sorry, this clear outlier is this, because you have so many. Okay, but this is our cluster of low wage. So basically, generally clusters around 15. How we know? Because this is the most frequent amount of money that workers earn per day in USD. Okay, so it starts to decrease down here steeply. It decrease here even steeper decrease. Okay, then it basically some of them, they basically concentrate around here, but none of them actually exceed 40 except for one. So this is very clearly it clearly shows us that $50 is the outlier lah. Okay, and sometimes you have to use a bit of common sense to understand the question, because here they say low wage, right? If it's anything too high, right, if it's like $50, I don't think it's counted as low wage already. So that's why fewer people earn that much. Okay,
Smash your maths exams. Download Learn Maths Today for real exam questions and achieve top marks.